I'm on the analytics team for MHP Team SI. So we're an advertising agency. We're based in Little Rock, Arkansas. We've got about 160 or so people company-wide. What really kind of drove us to it is the fact that Google Analytics, well, several things, but one pretty critical one is that Google Analytics by default samples all of the data that is being presented in the analytics platform. And for a certain type of client that really relies, say, for e-commerce purposes on sales, or even just as their primary lead capture is their website, especially if you're looking to do some fairly sophisticated analysis with lots of dimensions. So say, for example, how many leads did I get from mobile devices in a certain geography for a certain type of campaign? Well, if you do that kind of analysis in Google and you want to look over more than, say, 30 days worth of data, you're getting sample data. Another big potential issue is data privacy and identifiable information. See, because of GDPR, which even though in the US is not, it's not the law of the land, for some of our clients, they are concerned to the same level that, say, GDPR privacy protections are. And in particular, it's healthcare clients. And we're also getting a lot of requests, or there's a lot of conversation around moving to GA4, because Google Analytics has said, GA4 is the future. We knew we had this problem with, data sampling and privacy. Then we also are being tasked with trying to migrate to GA4. You're like, okay, well, there's no real solution for it because we're not going to go with Adobe Analytics. And then all of a sudden, Matomo became, known to us. And then as we, dig deeper into what Matomo can do, it's like, oh, okay, this is really, this can solve a lot of problems. And so knowing that Matomo operates at a higher level of privacy because of GDPR, we're now thinking that's a really, Matomo is a great opportunity. So so what drove us was primarily the fact that it's unsampled data, and then secondarily that the privacy considerations are much stronger than with Google. That's what I've been so honestly excited about with some of the experience that I've been gaining in the Matomo platform. It's a lot of the reporting is just, it's visually, I think the interface is much more elegant and simple than Google Analytics. The Matomo UX is fantastic, and the reports and just how easy it is to slice up information about goals and the visitor log, and so many of the features that are just right out of the box, particularly in the cloud version that we're using, are really easy to learn and to use. It's a business opportunity for us to do our job better as the analytics team, but I think it's also a business opportunity for us to offer our clients a much more robust and insightful experience and grow the business. So I feel like using Matomo, that's going to be a much easier job for us. We've been using the heat map as well for 2 of the sites we turned that on. That's actually another feature that, clearly there's no analog in Google Analytics to that. Though the kind of heat mapping, session recording, you need something like Hotjar. The wow moment was probably when I looked at the goals report and the different ways that I could just slice up how a website's goals were being delivered. That, and I think the simplicity of creating segments, and then how I can use segments to just look at the data from that particular segment. The visitor log information was like, oh, wow, that's really pretty cool. You can see the session for a particular visitor. You can see several sessions and all, and it's like, that's awesome.